Welcome folks, welcome gents, back to a brand new video. Today the video is gonna be a little sadder than what it normally is. So, if you have seen my videos, which if you're watching this you probably have, but to the few of you who indeed have seen my videos, well, know that I own a lot of trains, but the only place I have to put them is on the floor. So, accidents happen quite a lot. So this here is my Burlington Northern boxcar. And this is my Union Pacific switcher tender. Here's the switcher. So we're gonna start off with the boxcar here. So I don't know if I'm the only one who's had this problem. I'm reckoning not, but the brake hoses under the couplers, those, well, one of them somehow slipped low enough or something to where I was pushing the boxcar over a switch, alright? Getting ready to have a train pull it, you know? Be cool. I have the tracks up in the kitchen. But when I pushed it over this, not a switch, it's a crossing, train crossing, the air hose on it caught on a rail and broke off somewhat like that. And unfortunately, I don't have any more couplers. So, yeah, that kind of broke, and I have to wait till my next run to Hobby Hut Models, actually, to get more couplers. If you have a Hobby Hut Models somewhere, I'd recommend you go check them out. They're pretty good, have lots of models. That's where I got the switcher from, actually. Yeah. That was earlier today. Now, the switcher tender. So this thing had stalled on the tracks, and so I was running this thing behind a train. My diesel was stalling, so I wasn't using the diesel. I was running this instead. It stalled, and then my dad came through, and it was almost as if he was trying to destroy it, but he kicked this off the rails. Alright, so let me set these on the rails, show you how it kind of happened. Alright, so it was just sitting here like this with some cars behind it. Alright, it wasn't this car. So yeah, but it was just sitting there on the rails. He comes along, hits this, alright? That comes off the rails, goes to its side like that, and my engine is left like this. The other cars were fine, but yeah. And when I checked the damage, my camera will show, thankfully it will. This broke off. There's supposed to be a little ball there, like on that. That broke off. And you can see that little grab iron thing that you'd grab onto while walking up those steps there. That bent there and broke up here. You can see the little white pegs there where it's supposed to go into. So yeah. can kind of see those. So, yeah. So I can actually lift it up. See? I don't want to break it any further, but yeah. I haven't noticed any other damage because I haven't really looked it over. But, yeah. So that happened. Fortunately, however, I think my switcher here is fine. So, it's just the tender. So, yeah. Now, since I'm doing an update on my models, kind of like a behind the scenes like thing, I'm gonna be checking out some more of them. We're gonna start with this. So, this and the other 3 that I have over here, you might notice from previous videos, them being there in the background. This I got at that yard sale, as you know, a while ago. Well, if you watched it, of course. There's only been like 6 people who watched it, but I'm gonna be referring to that a lot, so I recommend you go watch that. But yeah, so this thing I got, it was in pretty good condition. Yeah, has the same kind of couplers that I'm currently using. However, on the back, it did not have a coupler. So you can see the coupler here is a little darker than the one at the front. This being brown, this being black. And shiny with the air hose. This one also doesn't care if it's off to one side, it will stay there, unlike the rest. They spring back to the middle. This one doesn't do that, but it works good enough. I got these couplers at Hobby Hut Models, of course. So, yeah. So I had to replace that. And on my next thing, which you might have noticed background of last week's video as well, is this. This one's got an interesting history. This is a Santa Fe passenger car, as you can see. It has this little viewing dome at the top with paint on it. I can't remember exactly when I got this thing. It wasn't at the yard sale. Most of my models, I have a lot I haven't shown you, but most of them I got before I can remember, so yeah. So I've had this for a while, decently old. So this thing had a weird kind of coupler. I replaced them, of course, but they weren't these little knuckle couplers, same as back of this thing has, see. It had a weird kind that wouldn't open. It was kind of like the original couplers on my N-scale locomotives. You probably don't know, but I replaced those so that way they could couple up to each other and I didn't have to take one and drop it on the other and then re-rail it without accidentally uncoupling again, or else I'd have to do it all over. But yeah, that's how those originally worked. That's how this thing's couplers worked. So, one day, when I accidentally knocked this thing off a small shelf, not even this tall, yeah, get a good scale there, I had knocked it off, and one of the doors had popped open. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm thinking it was maybe this one. Yeah, but one of the doors, it popped off, and when I inspected the damage, now before that happened, the weight inside of it, which you can see there, it was already loose on top of the thing having wonky couplers. But when I knocked it off, some windows came out where they were supposed to be, and the door also came off, only being held on by the couplers. So, yeah. So, I, being somewhat of a handyman, tried to repair it, and fortunately at this time I had a thing of couplers. So yeah, it was a thing of four couplers, yeah. So, I took off the couplers from it. In fact, I think I still have those. Don't ask why I haven't got rid of them, but I haven't. But anyways, took off the couplers, took off the door. We tried to get the windows back in, got that done. Tried to get the weight back in, got that done. It doesn't rattle around anymore. So, yeah. So, took the door off, glued that back on, put a new coupler in, which is the one you see here. So, put that in so that way it could couple with the rest of my engines and rolling stock. Did that on the same side. So, yeah, and it was fixed up. So, yeah. Now, moving on. So, these are my Durango and Silverton passenger cars. Same that I also got from the yard sale, because of course I did. So, these are actually in surprisingly good condition, which is very good news for me. Their couplers are good. Apparently this kind of broke, so might have to replace its coupler again. I swear that wasn't broken last time I looked at it. But anyways, so you got this car, which is kind of a mixed car. You got passengers over here, and I believe baggage over here. This one is just a normal passenger car. It doesn't carry anything extra or weird. So yeah. I don't run these very often, because the closest thing I have to pull them is that, which doesn't look too good pulling them. But yeah. So these are in pretty good condition. Except, this thing's coupler was also broken, just like that one. So, I had to replace it. So, yeah. See, that's also that darker kind? Yeah. So, I had to replace that coupler. It was pretty easy, unlike my unscale rolling stock. So, yeah. Decently easy, you know. It's a lot better than N-scale. Yeah. So, I put that back in and works great now, as you can see. So, that is probably gonna wrap it up for this week's video. If this thing doesn't take 3 days to upload like my other one did before failing the upload, if that doesn't happen, I will see you next train Tuesday. If that does happen, I'm gonna see you next Friday. Or, I'm gonna see you Friday. Anyways. So I thought it'd be nice to give you a nice behind the scenes of what goes on for me. I'm gonna do another video displaying where I store all my engines. Not my rolling stock. This stuff, it's not stored well, so no wonder it breaks all the time. I have so much rolling stock, I don't know where to put it. You know? And, not gonna lie, doesn't help that my parents just throw the stuff into boxes willy-nilly. thinking that they're not gonna break, because they're definitely gonna break. So I'm gonna have to find somewhere to store these. So yeah, but I will see you next Train Tuesday. Subscribe if you want me to waste your time.